derivative still. There she is. There she is.
Greetings and felicitations.
As your body grows bigger,
your mind loves flower.
It's great to learn.
'Cause knowledge is power.
Saddle up. Lock and load.
Hello and welcome. Here we are with a special live stream on a Saturday. It's normally called a midnight continuum, but since it's the daytime, it is a morning continuum. And today we are doing a bit of a deep dive, I guess, essentially in a much smaller vessel than normal, because we are talking about the 1987 film Innerspace. So let's take a submarine ride into a very strange man. And with me today to go on this fantastic voyage is Tony from the Stark of Iron channel. Hello and welcome.
Well, hello! Trust us with your entertainment. Hi, I'm Tony from this little humble corner of the internet called the Stark of Iron YouTube channel, where we are doing bigger and better things. But alas, we must take the fantastic voyage and become very, very small.
Yes, through the help of a hypodermic needle. So that'll be fun. And this movie has amazing special effects for an 80s movie. I'm very, very happy to be talking about it.
Great practical effects, great lensing, great green screen lensing. It was a good film.
Yeah, and we got a lot of people attached to it. They decided that this was going to be a good movie when Steven Spielberg got interested in it, although he only produces it. And we've got a lot of a fun cast. We have Martin Short playing the man who is injected by another man played by Dennis Quaid. So that's pretty fun. And the love interest, of course, is Meg Ryan, and I like her very much. And we've got a lot of other fun actors. Of course, one of my favorites, and obviously one who steals any scene he's in this movie, is Robert Picardo, who plays the Doctor on Star Trek Voyager. Mm-hmm. And in this movie, he doesn't have a character name either. He's just called the Cowboy.
The Cowboy.
And with music by Jerry Goldsmith. How could you go wrong? Innerspace was first released on July 1st, 1987, directed by Joe Dante, with the screenplay by Jeffrey Boehm and Chip Prosser. I think Jeffrey Boehm came in later to actually make most of the script. Most of the script is written by him to be more comedic, because at first it was just going to be this Fantastic Voyage knockoff, right? And so he came in and made it more unique. And so
it's a rom-com meets Fantastic Voyage.
Yeah.
It's awkward little fella being used as an impromptu medium between an Air Force pilot piloting a microscopic submersible, trying to get a hold of the woman that he is head over heels for. So
yes, it's a bit of a love story, definitely, and a love letter to Fantastic Voyage. And so when Fantastic Voyage was made, it was science fiction, but when you're doing it at this time, it's very much science fantasy, and so it gets a little goofier. It's a fun movie, but since they made it a comedy, it gets to be goofier in terms of the science and all of that. And so
absolutely,
so I'm glad they did change it up. And even though I still am remiss, I still need to watch Fantastic Voyage from 1966. So that is on my list of things to do.
Oh, you haven't seen that? That's a classic, Jill.
Of course. I know. I meant to watch it before reviewing this, but now this is my first. This is my first foray into this. Although, of course, I've seen other people miniaturize others and stick them in bodies and stuff. Notably, Miss Frizzle.
Magic School Bus, but you got to remember, in the late 80s, there was a fascination with shrinking in general. I mean, look at Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. That's a primary example, you know.
Apparently, Rick Moranis.
Oh,
apparently Rick Moranis almost got the role here, but he turned it down.
It's like, I'm not doing any more shrinking movies. I'm done with that.
Wait, yeah. Well, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids came later, so he did it later.
Well, it was a joke. It wasn't.
Yeah,
Really.
it's a good joke. I'm sorry, cut you off there. Did you have something to add?
No.
Okay. So let's see. Oh, and this would have been funny. I want to see the alternate universe where Joe Dante actually got Arnold Schwarzenegger to play Tuck and Michael J. Fox to play Jack Putter. I think that would have been so fun.
That would have been funny, but it would have also been awkward. I don't think the chemistry would be as tightly knit. If
That's true. The chemistry
because
here
those
was
are character actors. Character actors aside, you know. Gets asked Maz. I don't think it would work. Congratulations, you digested the bad guy. Yeah.
See, it works for me. Okay. But Dennis Quaid and Martin Short do a great job. And you're right, they do have good chemistry in terms of how supportive Dennis Quaid is, even though he is so small. And so let's see, I had a few other things. This is such a goofy movie. We will get to the slides soon, and I will get to the chat, and I will talk to you guys in just a minute. I just wanted to see precisely what's going on here. Oh, this movie also got a few awards. In 1988, they got an Academy Award for Best Visual Effects by Bill George, Dennis Muren, Harley Jessup, and Kenneth F. Smith. And I think I have a few notes in my notes here about from Bill George on how they made some of those special effects when we get to those relevant portions of the film. And also in 1988, they won an Academy of Science Fiction, Fantasy, and Horror Films Best Special Effects. Oh no, they were just nominated. They didn't win it. Damn it. Okay, never mind. But still, being nominated is good. But this was
notion, yeah.
This was actually Joe Dante's only Academy Award. So that's for the special effects. And the movie grossed, okay, so it was kind of a flop. It grossed $25.9 million. But what was the budget? I forgot about grabbing the budget. I always forget the budget.
That's good on you, Joe.
Well, okay, instead of helping, you're just gonna laugh at me. I get it. I see where we're going with this live stream. $27 million.
Oh, shush you! I took a jab.
Okay, so the box office was $27 million. So yes, it was definitely a flop.
Definitely flopped hard. Yeah, but it's a cult classic now.
And, it is.
Yeah,
it definitely deserved to succeed, but it did not. Oh, worldwide it grossed $32 million, but that's still not enough to bring it out of the water.
No, I think it didn't even make the black, unfortunately. But
no, it would have needed like maybe 50 million would have been better.
Some a little bit more around that whereabouts, based on the amount of what the dollar was worth back then.
Yeah, but like I mentioned, I do have a few notes from Bill George. There was this cool interview I found that would be interesting to look at when we get to those parts. And now, oops, I had my screen shared and I unshared it. Here, let's grab the slides.
No, I have to.
We are ready to go.
Jill, you're making it easy.
You don't have to do any such thing. But here's Steven Spielberg presents. Meaning he produced it. That means he likes this idea. Hello to Kimberly Ann Hart. Great to see you here. And Lemon Pie. Hi, Lemon Pie.
Good to see you, Lemon.
Lombardi, 1969. Hey there. Don't push the red button.
The shiny candy-like button?
Yes. Yes, the shiny candy-like button. I don't know. There it is. Gotta mute my screen.
So what'll happen? That's just it. We don't know. Maybe something bad. Maybe something good?
And
I
somebody
guess
was
we'll
saying,
never know.
somebody was saying it erases all the history. Oh,
Just erases causality. I think it's like
Brogu's here. This is good news. Greek letters Larson. It says in the 80s they were obsessed with shrinking. In the 2000s they were obsessed with enlargement.
hashtag supersize me. Wait, what?
Wait a minute. Okay, wait. When did I Blew Up the Baby come out?
Honey, I blew up the kid? I think it was like a
No, no.
90s thing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was 90s. Yeah,
Yeah.
1990. Yeah. Okay. Well, I don't know exactly what he's referring to. Don Don. Hello to Don Don. Ranger Power. Tanya and all. Tony. Tanya is his name in an alternate universe in which he was born a lady.
Survey says, sorry.
Despite the Power Rangers Prime comic books being canceled. Oh, I'm sorry about that. If you were enjoying those books, I'm sorry they're gone now. So, oh, Sentai Ranger Donnie, yes. Got to remember what your actual name is because YouTube doesn't want to tell me anymore. Let's see. Did anybody else arrive? I think we're ready to start with the slides. So let's bring them back to where they should be. Yeah, let's do that. Okay. Let's find that drunk man named Tuck. Not just any man, he's a pilot.
Air Force pilot. Signed on to a top secret project to apparently test a microscopic submersible and some wabbits.
But he was they were surprised they chose him because he doesn't like authority, but he's the only one crazy enough to do it.
Mm-hmm.
We never did get to see the inside of a bunny's organs and all that. It was always just
Shout out to Low Spec Linux over there on the Rumble side. A pleasure to see you.
Yay, Rumble side. Hello, Low Spec Linux Gaming and Jacob Ironside.
That's right, Jacob Ironside. Help me, I'm possessed. That's right. I can't.
Well, I could tell that I haven't seen Martin Short in a lot of movies. I could tell that he does a lot of improv, not with his words, but with his actions.
Yeah, he's very animated.
So in this movie, Tuck is trying to find the bathroom, but he goes into the kitchen instead and gets kicked out because he's drunk and you cannot pee in the sink. Maybe that's what he was trying to do. I'm just trying to guess what he was trying to do. But it's a hero event. Everybody is celebrating all of the pilots and space astronauts, and everybody is here at this kind of convention here. But Tuck is really drunk and he's telling them about his exploits when he was flying. And I guess maybe he's been grounded since then, but he hasn't been released, which is why he gets involved with the science experiment.
Now, Jill, just to make a point, would you want somebody that can't even stand on his own 2 feet right now behind the H bar and control of a $35 million aircraft? Yes or no?
No.
That's probably why they grounded him.
But apparently he is fitted to be in a highly experimental and dangerous project in which he could easily be swallowed by a fly.
That's true. Well, that's a $1 billion microscopic submersible, so at least the materials cost isn't that much.
Yes. And so, yeah, there's an awkward silence as everyone witnesses him embarrass himself in front of everybody. Apparently, Ted Danson was asked to play Tuck, but he was too committed to Cheers and 3 Men and a Baby at that time. So he was too busy. And so he's jealous of everybody who gets to test out the new airplanes. the new jets and spacecraft. and so he gets into a fight with everybody, and they all the old pilots give him a what for. And apparently, in an interview with Dennis Quaid, anytime he goes around the world, he's most internationally known for this role. So anybody
That's
sees him
crazy.
in
All the roles that he's been in a movie that purportedly flopped, that just it reinforces the fact that it's become a cult classic.
right on, right on. Rusty is yelling at him. Oh, speaking of Rusty, okay, so I have a friend, Scotty R37. He helps me with the Star Trek people. Apparently, Rusty plays Goshabin in a Star Trek episode. The episode, oh, what's that episode where Data tells there's a planet that's been irradiated, and Data tells everybody to leave, and they got to go because their planet's the planet's gonna kill them.
Right.
And so whatever that episode is, I remember the episode, but not the name. Ensigns of Command. I found it. The Ensigns of Command. So here we go. Our Star Trek actor. Before we even get to Robert Picardo. So he's just getting. They get into an actual physical fight, not just verbal. Oh, hey, hello to Critically Thinking and Drinking. Man, I haven't seen this since it came out. He says, great
It's
to
a
see
cult
you.
classic.
Yeah, and definitely follow Critically Thinking and Drinking on the Twitter, Twix, X, because he's a lot of fun. Great stuff there. And Don Don says, yes, some Vernon Wells, who later portrayed Rancic in Power Rangers Time Force. Yes, we will get to Vernon Wells later. Vernon Wells plays a really cool cyborg. I don't know if I want to call it. Well, he has a robot hand, but we'll get to it eventually. Eventually, after we get out of this fight. First, Pete has to yell at him too. And a pretty girl named Lydia takes him home. And he's got robots in his house too, so he's taking some stuff from the lab. And there's some pratfalls there.
The nerds ain't gonna miss this crap. We'll just sneak it out.
And she's interested in the rabbits that she's a reporter, so she's trying to get all the information she can about this top secret experiment and all of this stuff. And he just has all these things laying around. So she's getting some pretty good clues here that it definitely has something to do with the rabbits. And the rabbit is named Bugs. Because there are lots of Looney Tune references in this movie, and if you listen to it, there are lots of Warner Brothers sound effects. And which fits because it's a comedy, and you can have a few cartoon sound effects for comedy. And the robot's pouring some drink for him, although he doesn't really need any more. Look at that. But also it commits some party fouls. It spills. And
never trust a robot to do a bartender's job.
Yeah, agreed. Well, unless you are in The Fifth Element, I think that has a pretty good robot bartender.
Yeah. But that's a few centuries in the future.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll have to wait for them to get better. We get a recurring song. The song, what is it called? Cupid. It's like something about Cupid's arrows flying. It's just it's their song basically. And so he gets her to stay the night with this song that is a recurring song in the movie. I wish I could remember what song it is. It is just called Cupid by Sam Cooke. Really? Is that true? Yeah, that's it.
Sam Cooke. Yeah.
All right. Because that's what gets him a blackout, and in a a movie that you can take your kids to when things black out, that's when sex happened.
Mm-hmm. The fade to black shot, the classy way.
Mhm. And the next morning, Tuck does not want Lydia to leave. He only catches her when I guess he was in the shower or something, and that's why he's in a towel, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why he's standing out here without any clothes. But she's done. She doesn't want to be with him anymore, and she's leaving with Dick Miller to go somewhere else. And of course, the towel, the towel gets caught on the door, and so we get a little Dennis Quaid butt.
Yeah.
Silicon Valley. I like that it's this picture, but they're not really there at the beach. They're at the doctor's office. 2 months later, where we meet Jack Putter, played by Martin Short. And we learned that he's allergic to hairspray. One of my favorite things in movies is the setups and payoffs. So this one,
Yep.
it gets a big set payoff later. I'll be going over a lesser known Dennis Quaid movie on my show on Tuesday, Breaking Away. Oh, wow, Jake and I are inside. That's really cool. Also, on X, Geyser Shark says, I love this movie. For two guys who are barely on screen together, Dennis Quaid and Martin Short played it so well. You'd think they were really talking to each other. I did think they were really talking to each
It
other. I
was
didn't question.
really good editing. Really good editing.
Absolutely. Let me make sure I didn't miss anything. No, we're actually pretty good. Not Brian is here. Woohoo!
Hello, sir.
Heck, could have given you the slides for this if I'd known you were covering it, Jill. I didn't think about it. I like to make the slides on my own just so that I'm portraying what I think is important in the movie, but I think your slides would have been almost, pretty similar to mine. Thank you. Thank you so much. I should really consider that. Anytime Mr. Brown has done a movie, I could always grab his slides and see if I like them. And so, yeah, so Jack's talking about his nightmare. So his nightmare is about a obnoxious woman and a computer that is ringing up all of the incorrect prices to the point where a normal shopping bill goes all the way up to over $100,000. It should be like $1 million today or something.
Mm-hmm.
And William Shallert is playing Jack's doctor here, Dr. Greenbrush. This is an inside joke because he played the doctor in another movie about somebody, The Incredible Shrinking Man from 1957, which also I haven't seen. You liked it?
I liked it. The fight with the spider and the fight with the cat, because he keeps getting smaller and smaller. Yeah.
Neat. Oh, there were some cameos in that last scene actually that I should have mentioned. Apparently in the supermarket we see Chuck Jones, of course. We know that he's a creator of Looney Tunes and all of that. And also somewhere in this scene is Rance Howard, father of the director Ron Howard, somewhere around there. And there we go. And oh yeah. So Jack is basically a hypochondriac. He's just coming here talking about his nightmares and his headaches, and the doctor just prescribes him a vacation.
Need to de-stress, sir.
Definitely. Honey, I've shrunk the Saturday evening live stream. Yeah. When they go to shrink Tuck, there's a symbol on the computer that is the same symbol used in Fantastic Voyage in 1966. Combined miniature detonation forces as
Deterrent
well.
forces.
Deterrent, sorry. It's a little small on my screen because I've got a lot of stuff going on. Thank you for the correction. And that comes from Phantom Outsider. We have not gotten to the shrinking portion yet. The doctor was also Patty Duke's dad in Patty Duke Show and the teacher in Many Loves of Dobby Gills. Oh yeah, that doctor is played by William Shallert. Thank you. Pretty sure there will also be an obligatory Robert Picardo tweet this evening while the review's being done. I don't talk politics here, but yeah, no, I would like to just forget that Picardo has any political opinion whatsoever because he's such a lovely actor. And so we're going to focus on that today. Gave you a signal boost on X Friend. Enjoy your stream and your day. Thank you so much. Wow.
Thank
I
you.
am extra appreciative of that. I know how awesome you are and you're really sweet. Thank you. And I don't so then we get in the car here. Let's see where are we? We're already out of the we're out somewhere here you can find a gremlin car. And so Tuck is going to be the driver of the mini sub, and Pete says, "Oh, that was a bad idea. He hates authority, and he makes up his own rules." And here, Tuck's rule is, I guess, slapping the shit out of himself for some reason. I guess it's a way that he amps himself up, which is also a setup and payoff later, as he has Martin do this later in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get the doctor, the main doctor who is testing this. Well, they're not testing. They're actually going to do it now. So he wants to test, but Tuck doesn't. And the doctor is played by, did I even get a good shot of him? This is the back of John Hora, who had previously worked as a Joe Dante cinematographer. And he was cast as Ozzy after Steven Spielberg suggested it because he did that. The director was kind of leery about it, but Spielberg asked for a screen test and it worked out. He was right. And apparently when Tuck enters the lab, you can also hear Squad 51 radio alert. I don't know what Squad 51 even is, but apparently the radio alert plays. And then he just kisses this lady here. And he really seems animated, like he's had maybe a bit too much coffee.
Anybody who would be riding on the adrenaline of going into something that could atomize you with just the slightest miscalculation, I'd probably be getting last kisses all around too if I knew
that does make sense. Then he has a selfie with this lady.
Yeah.
So this is
with a Polaroid.
It's a real selfie. So this might be the first selfie in movies because Thelma and Louise was 91. But before that, there might have been a selfie in National Lampoon's European Vacation in 85. So this might be the second one then. Well, why would it say first? It's second. And so they're shrinking Tuck, and just like Phantom Outsider said, we do get a reference to Fantastic Voyage, which makes sense that we see that. And he's about to fly. And he's supposed to be injected into the rabbit, who is named Bugs, obviously after Bugs Bunny. But Ozzy refers to him like as a rodent, even though rabbits are not rodents. And I was offended. And the Ozzy is kind of funny. He kind of pushes aside his assistant, and she's just trying to watch, and he's like, "Do your thing over there." I forget. I didn't get a lot of quotes. So they do lots of technobabble, lots of fun technobabble, and including Ozzy. He says something about a carpet cleaner or something, a carpet vacuum, carpet sweeper. That's it. None of this is science. It's fun though.
Yeah, this is your typical, let's just put fancy words together and make them sound cool, kind of like technobabble.
Yeah. It's like Lost in Space technobabble. It's fun.
Mm-hmm.
But they do have environmental control systems. And
it would have to be vacuum tight for one. in any instance, because he's about to be injected into something that is not going to have just proper atmosphere. So it's got to have like ways to recycle his air and things like that in order for him to be able to pilot that pod for any significant amount of time. You know, there's not going to be a lot of time that you can actually spend inside a living thing,
Right.
before you would need to worry about resources.
And
to
then
keep
we
you
have these
alive.
robots that are elaborately inserting a microchip into the machinery,
Mm-hmm.
which is lampshaded later, which is lots of fun. Because I kept just thinking, why can't anybody just put it in there themselves? This is taking forever. number 1, photon echo memory systems are started. So lots of blinking lights, lots of fun things that look like science, robots doing jobs.
The industrial light and magic flickering and lightning is about to happen.
Mhm. Yes, the pod is activated. The microchip interlock is complete. And the centrifuge is activated. So, of course, we're going to spinning. Molecular isolation and displacement. I love all the graphs and all the little things. Everything that just makes it come alive. And there it is. There's the bright light.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get the countdown. And Bugs Bunny even takes a flight. Right there's Bugs.
There's the
The
Bugs
ghost.
Bunny stuffed wabbit. Yeah.
And now it has worked. He's very small. And he gets stored in a syringe so that they know where he is. And we zoom in on the teeny tiny Tuck who's right in there.
Right
The hexagons were the symbol. Yeah, there he is.
But then corporate espionage happens.
Yeah, all these guys in orange suits break in. They are bad guys. I don't know about that.
Steal the technology.
They do. They need those microchips. Apparently, their machines are exactly the same as their machines, so they need the same exact chips for some reason. I don't know. I don't understand that part. I don't know about that zero defects. Since he went into this and they had no security at all, why would you do that? Yes, and even the movie complains about it because Pete says, Quaid says, "How did this happen?" And Pete says, "Well, this scientist, they don't know about security," or something like that. The second selfie was in National Lampoon's European Vacation. Well, which was the first one then? Oh wait, this was not the
second.
First. So
This would have been the second selfie in
this
film.
is the second. Yes, that's what I'm thinking. Of course, what? Maybe we could have discovered another one. Has everybody actually focused on all of the independent films made? So Greek letter says linking lights and flipping switches are essential part of technology. Yes, more blinking lights means more science in movies like this. Science fantasy like this. Lots of fun. It was a blink and you miss it, but you had to get a pic of it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I missed it. But I do believe you. I like that their card to break in looks a little steamy.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so they're breaking it. Oh, this guy right here, the first guy to encounter violence is Joe Dante himself, the first employee to be attacked by the orange suit bad guys. And I love the zooms in, zooming on the tiny.
Now he's at a size to where he is completely unaware of what's going on. He is under the assumption that he is about to be injected into that rabbit.
Yes, he doesn't know about. Of course, he doesn't know this. All of this is happening.
Right.
And there we go. Well, they attack everybody with the spray. I don't know if the spray is killing everybody or just knocking them out. But they get in, and we get Margaret, Dr. Margaret, saying that the equipment is primitive. So apparently theirs is a little different. There she is. There's Margaret. And she knows Ozzy, so they know each other. They're acquaintances or maybe even friends. And Ozzy grabs
Friends
Tuck and
turned
he
rivals. They're very rival scientists.
that makes sense. So
Yeah.
Ozzy grabs the syringe and runs off. Okay, and the bad guys have the chip. So the microchip is important. We're following that. Ozzy runs away on a bicycle. And so our first car chase is a bicycle and a car. You'd think that wouldn't work out, but it actually looks really great. One of the pics had it. Oh, awesome. I'm glad I got it, Phantom Outsider. Thank you. I wouldn't call myself a huge Joe Dante fan, but there's no denying his greatness with Innerspace and Gremlin, says Geyser Shark.
Yes.
Also, I cannot type about the knobs. Don't you remember Airplane 2? We've all got switches, lights, and knobs. Thank you, Fanty. And the bad guy, of course, chasing Oz is Vernon Wells. He plays Mr. Ego in this movie. And so, is this chase still happening? I ran out of notes. There he is, Mr. Ego. And he's got his robot hand.
Yes. Dr.
Really
Claw.
Cool. Ooh. Yeah. And there's so now we're back with Jack. He's setting up his vacation. He's buying cruise tickets. And there's Oz. He's running out of breath. That's why he looks like that. And he runs it. He gets shot, but he makes it into the elevator. And so most of this film was made on a soundstage, except for here where they go to the mall. They went to San Francisco, Marin County, and the Galleria Mall. And so that's where they are. And this is the scene where eventually, once he gets to the top of the elevator, Ozzy injects Jack with Tuck in the pod. So Ozzy injects Jack in the butt, specifically.
And we get to see the first few scenes inside. You get to see the fat cells. And
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I think they were balloons, if I remember correctly. Oh, wait a minute. No. Well, something else says that it's made out of Jell-O. So maybe it's balloons and Jell-O. Of course, but Peter Curran says it was Jell-O. He's the special effects supervisor. And all these scary mascots. Check
all
to
the
see it.
scary mascots.
That's probably why
Foreshadowing.
he died.
You wake up in a Disney park with those mascots today. Oh my God!
Oh, I don't know if I caught it or not, but eventually Ego just pops some clown balloon for no reason, just to tell the audience this guy is a bad guy.
He's a
there it is.
bad man.
Yeah, there he is. He did
That Klaus is like, he's like, what a dick, man. Jeez. Dick.
Yeah, I know. Now he has to remake his balloons.
Mm-hmm.
The assassin looks like a young version of Jack Palance. Oh man, he's well, his name is Ego in this movie. Vernon Wells. Apparently also in a version of Power Rangers, according to Donnie. That's a young Martin Short.
Isn't it, though, man? Martin Short without even the crow's feet.
Oh, there are those fat cells. And the robot hand. Yes, it's interchangeable. And he can also shoot. like he uses his hand as a gun, which is
Yeah.
neat.
Some James Bond level shit.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and he's a bit like a James Bond villain, I suppose.
He's like Odd
But-
Job. He's like, you know.
Jack is late to work. It is coupon day. Henry Gibson plays Jack's boss. And Tuck figures out that he's inside a human body. Even though all the computer and everything was set up to be inside of a rabbit. I guess it's dynamic. I guess the coding was dynamic enough to remap.
Yeah. I'd see that was one of the things that made me raise an eyebrow. It's like this was configured for something significantly smaller than a man. And here we are. Computer's capable of just going, yeah, we're in a person. We're in a human being.
Yes. Phantom Outsider says, look, Henry Gibson apparently reformed from his days of chasing the Blues Brothers. Oh, thank you so much, Phantom Outsider. That's very helpful. Oh, goodness.
I don't think he's on a mission from God anymore.
So everyone's upset at Jack for being late, including his not girlfriend, Wendy. She missed his date again. And this hurt me physically because she smashes this glass bottle onto the eggs and you can hear the eggs crack on the inside. And that's my nightmare. Whenever I do if I don't go shopping, I do shop myself, but on the occasion where I get it delivered, I'm always afraid this is going to happen. And then all of a sudden, for no reason at all, and it's never explained in this entire movie, Jack's nightmare comes true.
Manifest destiny.
And I don't even know. That is just I guess he was a bit of a prophet here in terms of that. Everything, even the computer messes up, and he does ring her up for a $100,000 order, just like we described before. And then she pulls out her gun, and it is not a gun. It's a cigarette lighter. Fortunately, Jack is not shot.
Fancy piece of cat food at $6,432.
That's extra fancy.
That is pretty darn fancy. That cat better be like an endangered breed.
Okay, so this lady with the orange hair is played by Kathleen Freeman. That's her name. And hello to Pop Culture Republic. Great to see you.
Good to see you, PCR.
So obviously Jack likely saw her at the store before. Yes, that's what I thought. But it's not explained at all in the movie that she's a frequent customer. This is just played for laughs, and it's not actually explained that this is something that's already in his memory because she's actually a customer there. That's the logical conclusion, though. Yes. Old School National Enquirer. My grandmother couldn't leave the grocery store without a copy.
She liked the tabloids, huh?
Oh no. I always thought those were so, even when I was just a little kid, I knew, you know what? I don't think any of these stories are real.
They're funny papers, man. Bat Boy strikes again.
You wonder how the coupons would register. Oh yeah, that is the joke right here. That is a joke. Is that with or without the coupons? And she says, listen, sweetie, I don't carry that kind of cash around with me. And so Tuck is at autopilot meanwhile, and nothing is working. So he's making his way to the optic nerve so he can see through what he thinks is the rabbit still. Oh, there's the gun.
The lighter.
The lighter. I like that lighter. I think I'm considering if I want one. Tuck is entering.
Good way to intimidate and spook somebody.
Yeah. And I don't actually want a real gun, so it makes sense.
I'd say
and
a real gun at some point, Joe, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah. Well, if I want to talk about that, I'll visit the Canadian Spider-Man channel where
Right.
we'll talk about guns. Mr.
I was making the
Wormwood is
comment in passing. Don't worry.
that's good. No, I'm not worried. I like guns. Mr. Wormwood is the boss, but he's kind of nice, even though he thinks his employee is insane. He's like, you've got a great future in food retail.
Mm-hmm.
I love all these little screens. To superior vena cava, to jugular vein, to optic chiasma.
It's mapping out the arterial system.
Yes. So you can get to the pupil of Jack's eye.
Now, I don't know about you. Getting some cable jabbed in the back of your retina does not sound real fun.
Yeah, and
Out there, that just
appropriately, Jack does manifest great pain at this
Yes.
intrusion.
Well, he's got to get out of the vein first. He's
Yes,
getting
he's
into the vein. Yeah.
entering the bloodstream.
We won't mention how quickly that would cause blood pooling. We'll just keep going.
Time to take out a loan. The cat food price is a killer. Yeah, I do. I do wonder if the coupons would have helped. Orphan Zane, hello to Orphan Zane. Phantom Outsider says one of the rags was similar to the Inquirer. It had wrestling results from across the country. Only way to get weekly pro wrestling news back then. Oh, interesting. Okay. Definitely didn't know about that. And so let's see what's going on. So
there we
Tuck
go.
is still
This was a
figuring
good
out.
set here, the back of the eye and how it was illuminated because light would be entering it.
It looks great.
Yeah.
And so, okay, so this was from a interview with Bill George about Tuck's ship.
Mm-hmm.
And the basic idea was that everything was like it was underwater. There's interstitial fluid between the cells. There's fluid in your blood vessels. It was like a submarine movie, but instead of being underwater, it was inside the body. And George worked with John Fant, who was their lead camera guy, and Harley Jessup, who was the visual effects art director. And Harley found this stuff, diamond dust, that goes into women's cosmetics. It was very, very fine glitter. You put just a bit of that into the water, and then anytime the miniature sub's light passed through it, you'd get this really amazing sparkle that gave a sense of volume to the water. Oh, neat. And they had made 2 pods. One was maybe a foot across, and then another that was 2.5 or 3 feet for some of the tighter shots. Then we built some larger sections with things like the grabber arms and thrusters. We ended up with probably a half dozen different bits and pieces of tuck sub to do all the work. Cool. So that's the first interlude from Bill George there. And then Tuck makes his way to Jack's middle ear so he can talk to Jack and make him feel like he's insane.
Yes. I got a voice in my head.
Optic sensors are armed and ready. Oh, we're still injecting into his eyeball at this point.
Yeah, that's gotta. Just when I first saw that right there, I was like, "Oh, it's gotta sting."
That's why I had to get that
Oh
slider.
God!
That grabber going right into the eyeball right there. Oh, yeah. And it does hurt too.
You would think that would I mean that's just like blindness.
He describes it as a white hot sewing needle through the pupil of my eye.
Oh,
and
God.
Wendy is just as horrified as you were.
God.
And that's when Tuck realizes he's in a strange man. I'm in a strange man.
Not just any man, a strange man.
Yes.
He has to make that part clear. This fella's
Right.
a strange man.
And his boss agrees that he's crazy.
Right.
And so he goes off on his vacation early. Miniaturization is achieved with 2 chips. So that's the conceit in this movie. You need these 2 microchips to cause the miniaturization to occur, and the bad guy's got one of them right now. And the other one is inside the sub with Tuck. And he's approaching the middle ear so he can talk to Jack. That's where we're headed now. And Jack will soon be able to hear Tuck. And Jack is trying to figure out who is talking to him. And so he asks everybody, and of course, nobody else can hear anything. And nobody else is talking to him. And here's a special guest star, a special cameo by Andrea Martin. If you see her right here, she is, well, and is this Joe Flaherty, I think, is what I
Flaherty.
garnered. But more special to me is Andrea Martin, because she plays Ishka from Star Trek Deep Space Nine. She is Moogie. And it's, of course, you can't tell because in Star Trek she is covered by lots and lots of makeup. But both of them are also co-stars in SCTV, which is a thing that Martin was a part of. Martin Short was a part of that I have never seen.
The great I'm possessed scene. Yes. Yes. Correct.
Yes, I think we can rule out demonic possession right off the bat. All right. So that's gotta hurt. Yeah.
Oh God.
The camera. Better Jack
Then
get
the
stabbed
veins
in the eye.
getting cut open, the arteries getting cut open, and you see a few blood cells like floating out. That's also incredibly dangerous. The concept of internal bleeding like that is no joke because he used a laser to cut that open. So you would think that it would cauterize the breach.
Yeah, and it happens more than once in this movie where he cuts
Yeah.
into his body, and you just think of the ramifications that could happen if foreign objects were to get through those little tiny holes. That is terrifying. But Orphan Zane makes a great point. Better Jack get stabbed in the eye than a poor little bunny. Yeah, thinking of all the things that happened to Jack in this movie, if it happened to the bunny, that's animal abuse. The great unpossessed scene, yes, indeed. But the doctor rules out demonic possession because demons talk through you, not to you. And so Jack is making some weird motions with his hands from one hand to the other because he thinks that will help his hyperventilation. I think it's just all in his head. Essentially, that cure. Then the doctor shines a light into Jack's ear to find him. Although he's not really looking for him. I don't think he really even thinks that this is a thing. But he's just satisfying Jack. And it ends up blinding Tuck. So Jack is experiencing theistic hysteria, says the doctor. But my favorite part is when Jack asks what you do about that. And he said, well, they used to flay your skin with fire. That was hilarious.
I would say psychologist would probably be the modern solution to this
Yes.
predicament, or actually going to your local priest.
Yes, you probably don't want the medieval remedy, but I kind of want a doctor who knows medieval remedy. Schizophrenia, says Jonathan Hannock.
Good to see you,
Yeah.
John Hancock. Hopefully life's treating you well, homie.
And so eventually we get Jack home. Jack goes to his apartment. And he's trying to drown out the Tuck's voice. And so he puts on a game show. But Tuck is not to be ignored. So he uses his electromagnetic booster to blow up his TV, and it catches on fire, and the VCR flies through the window.
Now that's when that scene happened. Now I was like, okay, now this is a load of crock. A microscopic sub has enough ability to just magnetically throw a VCR out the window. I thought that was
A
funny.
tape.
Yeah.
A video cassette tape. It is. Yeah, it is
the
funny.
tape. Yeah, not the VCR, but just
Well, yes,
it's nuts.
it is nuts. I just say these are Lost in Space rules. I'm totally fine with it. Damn, didn't think I drank that much where I blacked out for 6 days. Says
You were blacked out for 6 days?
No, he
Gorilla?
wasn't. He wasn't. It's because
What?
I'm not streaming at my normal time. I'm supposed to stream about a movie on Friday. But instead, I had a shore leave on Thursday. And because I had a shore leave on Thursday because I went on Northern English Bastards channel on Friday to talk about Demolition Man and had so much fun with him. And today I'm talking about Innerspace because this is when we could schedule it. Because you and I, Tony, have been talking about doing this for months.
We've been talking about this for months, and our schedules just never aligned for like.
Yeah. There was, we were both busy. Moment. Yeah. And there was stuff happening and things, and hey, we finally figured it out. I think this is good timing. This is a very fun movie, so goofy, and just don't think, well, and I do want you to tell me when you think things are realistic. I know people say turn your brain off, but I think it's more fun to keep your brain on.
When it comes to like the set design, this is what I liked about the realistic aspects of this film is the set design for the inside of Martin Short, the inside of the body, like there was that panoramic scene with the heart and closer to the end of the film, whenever they were fighting over a pit of stomach acid, like there was a lot of like dynamic scenes, even when he was like sharing a drink with him, when he was knocking back whiskey, right? Just the way they mapped out the esophageal wall to make it look believable.
Yes,
those are the realistic elements. Those were the realistic elements of the film. Everything else, yeah, turn your freaking brain off, man.
Yeah. No, but I like that. I think that's how that would work. And that's why when I saw that scene, I was like, oh, that's kind of gross. But yeah, if that's the only way you can get liquor.
You'd only be able to you're drinking about maybe 30% liquor, 60% spit, but we'll let it slide.
Oh man, yeah. Okay, so Tuck is telling Jack that they have to work together, and he's telling him about the miniaturization experiment, and that he was supposed to be in a bunny. And then there's a cruise tickets man here, a delivery man or messenger, and immediately Tuck is saying, don't trust him. He's not a messenger. Get the hell out of there. And the messenger has a gun, so Tuck was right. And Jack's heart rate goes so fast that it really throws Tuck off, and he gets flown towards the heart.
And the second time, he's got to cut himself out of that situation.
Yes. Yeah, he has to cut. He's
Because
flying towards.
the heart rate's going fast because he's fighting for his life.
That's
So.
right. And there's an artery opening, and the submarine is telling him, do not enter the heart. Don't go there.
Well, that's actually quite true. This is another one of those facts that's really, really true, because inside the heart is a bunch of literally they're heartstrings. They're just, areas that could, if you enter it and you're in that pressurized container, you're going to get shredded by all of the heartstrings and the pressure of blood. So it would be a death sentence if he entered the heart.
And he seems to be he seems very much aware of this fact.
Mm-hmm.
And the submarine tells him not to go in, and he harpoons the side and cuts himself out of there. So, according to Bill George, the artery raceway was so many departments coming together, contributing to the success of that sequence. A lot of what drove and still drives what we do is the camera, and the engineering department devised a special camera rig with a waterproof housing. Then we had water going through a raceway with blood cells in it, and the blood cells had to be transparent and neutrally buoyant so they wouldn't sink or float, which was a real technical challenge. And because we're zipping along the bloodstream, there also had to be a current. So the stage guys had to rig a large pump that pushed a huge volume of water through it. Being in the artery raceway, you also have to ask yourself, where's the light coming from? The trial that it was built in was plexiglass, and then we built in a clear urethane tube that went inside it. So you could light the plexiglass from the outside and you get this soft glow. But we didn't want it to be so bright that it looked like it was the sun shining through his body. And so that's...
And then the entrance valve was also an achievement because it was opening and closing with each beat of the heart. Whenever
it was.
Yeah.
Oh, what? It does. So,
Jill, you are muted. Double check your microphone.
Yes, thank you. Sorry about that. I thought I unmuted it. So and he was actually in danger of a cardiac arrest. So, wow, you never know when you're that close to that kind of thing. I didn't realize his blood pressure had gotten that high. We just knew for sure that his heart rate had gotten that high. And they finally make it back to the lab. And the other guy, Dr. Niles is super happy with how this is all gone. He's like, great job. And Pete says, we'll get you out of there. And Tuck says, you better, you son of a bitch. But but Jack says, he says thank you. And they eavesdrop on their conversation here. He's able to Tuck is able to reconfigure his submarine to listen.
Right.
And they talk about how tricky the re-enlargement process is and about how they need 2 chips. One chip, of course, is inside the submarine, and the other one is with the bad guys. And then we get our ticking clock, finally. By 9 a.m., they need to extract him, or else his air supply runs out. But Pete's essentially like, we're never going to be able to do that. We just need to get that submarine back. So let's just, it's fine if he dies. We just need our extra expensive equipment back. So he's kind of like, I wanted to like you, Pete. But there's a extremely limited supply of oxygen, obviously. Makes sense. And so upon hearing that the scientists do not want to save his life, obviously Tuck instructs Jack to get out of there. And so they get to his car, his red Mustang convertible, and he's got to use the clutch. It's not an automatic. And Jack agrees to help if Tuck does not do anything weird in there. He doesn't want to get an embolism or an aneurysm.
Right.
Or, yeah.
It's like I have my own health to think about. I just almost have a heart attack. Okay, I'm having a really rough day.
Yes.
Almost got killed.
Mhm.
I wanted to go on vacation, but that was, out of the question.
Yes, and in regards to the Mustang, Pop Culture Republic says it's not a Honda.
Not a
Yeah, I was
Honda.
all offended because I love Hondas. I drive Honda. Yes. And so we get to Tuck's apartment. This is Tuck's apartment. He's got robots that he took from the laboratory. He's got this terribly creepy stuffed rabbit. But I guess if
Taxidermy
anybody,
rabbit.
yes, taxidermied. If anybody's allowed to have taxidermy animals, scientists, I suppose, are. It makes sense. That I know he's a pilot, but he's dealing with science, so I guess it's fine. It's acceptable. And so he's on a hunt. He's on an Easter egg hunt for liquor. He's there. He's finding empty bottles of liquor, but eventually he finds a bottle of Southern Comfort, and they
Ew.
drink to Ozzy.
Southern Comfort. Not my go-to for whiskey, but hey.
Yeah, I don't drink
It's
Southern Comfort
cheap.
either.
It's cheap. It gets the job done. But I like my bourbon a little bit higher on the shelf. Not too expensive, but not, not Southern Comfort.
I've never tried Southern Comfort actually.
Skip it.
Okay. So, yeah, I'm more of a. Oh, what is the other one? I have a bottle of it right now, and I can't think of it. It's the more famous one.
Got a big old bottle of Four Roses chilling here with me right now.
Let me see. I got it on my shopping list because Jameson. That's it.
Jameson.
That's what I have.
Good Irish whiskey. A little bit more expensive than Tullamore, but hits a little harder.
I think it's
Greetings
yummy.
to College Slammer in the chat. Next week is indeed Turkey Day.
Next week is Thanksgiving. That's right. Yeah, coming up this week, Thanksgiving, Thursday. American Thanksgiving, of course. All my friends in Canada already celebrated Thanksgiving back in October. And it's good to see you. So, gross, especially after hearing about how much spit is inside the liquor that.
It might actually make that crappy whiskey taste better. You never know.
Oh, yeah. I guess some people, yeah. I do water down my whiskey sometimes when I don't want to have a mixer. I just put a little water in there and so it's not so harsh. So I guess he's happy. Tuck is happy. I guess that's all that matters. Hold on a second.
Micrometer.
I have to dump my sewage waste. Oh no, broke. I didn't think about that. Where is that going? The pod was only like a micrometer. 1 micrometer is 0.001 millimeters. A pinprick is 0.05 millimeters. So any cuts Tuck made were infinitesimally small, and likely the blood immediately clogged the holes.
You think
Well,
that the platelet response would be that effective? I mean, because we didn't see much in the way of platelets. We only saw like the blood cells. I'm nitpicking a movie, but I see your point. It's just the fact that he made the cuts with a laser is the question. Because when you cauterize any kind of cut, it's harder to repair. The body can't repair it as well, especially if it's a significant cut. It doesn't repair it at all from the carbonization.
Interesting. And please feel free to nitpick any portion of the movie you like. That's why I have you here. And so he's dancing, pretending to play piano, not really even playing the piano. And he's like, "Oh well, I didn't realize dancing could be so fun." He's never enjoyed dancing before, or he's either never danced before or never enjoyed it before.
He's
And so-
drunk. He's drunk.
I think he could be drunk for the first time in his life because he doesn't drink, he said. And then he looks at a picture of Lydia. And so, yes, there's a triangle there in this movie. Sort of. You're seeing.
Intestinal villa, primary alveoli.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He knows, and it makes sense that he knows those terminology because he's always at the doctor's office with his, pretend illnesses. You're seeing parts of my body I will never see. And Tuck says, you're not missing much.
Pretty nasty.
And actually, Tuck tells Jack to go to the mirror because he hasn't seen what he looks like yet. And on the way over here, you hear a hiccup sound recorded by Mel Blanc, which was used in Warner Brothers cartoons. Lots of Looney Tune sound effects in this movie. I didn't list them. If I realized that was the case before I watched this movie, I would have listened out for them to point them out because that might have been fun. Because I did watch a lot of Looney Tunes. I bet if I realized it, I would have been able to document it. But Jack is drunk, like you said, and apparently somewhere in Tuck's bedroom there's a copy of the novelization of Twilight Zone, the movie from 1983, and that's notable because director Joe Dante and executive producer Steven Spielberg from this movie each directed a segment of that movie. And Daniel's Hot Topics is here. Hello, Daniel. And he says hi to us. How's it going?
It's pod. That's a good point, Phantom Outsider. The weight of the pod.
Yes, I was getting to that one. It's right here. Let's see. Could you read this for us?
The only thing no one talks about is the weight of said pod. So basically, like in the comics, when the pod shrunk, its mass was shunted to another dimension, because otherwise, Ozzy and Jack were insanely strong. Yes, if you're talking about mass shifting but keeping the density and the weight, it would be not ideal at all. But I think it's mass shifting in the form of like when Megatron transforms into his pistol form. It just goes somewhere else. So yes, valid point, sir. Valid point.
This is the 80s, so I'm trying not to be upset about it, but Jack is about to drunk. He's about to drive drunk. And Tuck's solution is to tell him to slap himself in the face. Because that's what he does when he's drunk and wants to drive or pilot something. We saw that earlier. And so that's happening here. And he does a really good job of slapping the crap out of himself.
C-3PO makes a good point. You could rotate it in Hilbert space. Yeah, you could. Oh,
not Z-3PO. Hello. Thanks. Espionage in Silicon Valley.
So Tuesday. Got it.
Yes, we get Meg Ryan back in the movie, which is great. We were missing her as Lydia.
Right at the top of the second act. Yeah. We didn't get to see her for about 30 minutes.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I was wondering when she was going to come back. I knew she would. Lydia is talking about Ozzy dying and how he worked for this laboratory. So this is how she gets on the trail of the same story. And Dwayne comes in talking about the cowboy. And then we finally get to see who that cowboy is from these boots.
Cowboy.
And it is Robert Picardo. He is the cowboy in this movie, but of course we know him as the Doctor in Star Trek Voyager. Very, very fantastic actor. He's incredible here. Very, very funny and believable. I love him
familiar.
so much.
I have to verify a suspicion.
Yes.
Hold on. No, keep talking.
Okay, I will. I thought you had something there. So of course you can't.
No, it was different. He kind of looks like Viper from Top Gun in that shot, and I was like, that can't be Viper. I had to confirm it.
Wow. Okay. Well, and of course you can't smoke on an airplane, so he has to put it out. When did smoking stop on airplanes? I didn't even think about that.
They should have never started. It's a pressurized vehicle.
Yeah. But they used to filter the air more when they were allowed. Oh, I guess yeah, around this time was when smoking was oh, no, wait. 77 was when smoking was banned entirely in the United States. So that's according to Wikipedia, which is not the best of sources, but at a short notice. That seems like it's probably fine. No, see, this other website says 1988, so somewhere within before 1990. So there we go. I was curious. I will
You
get
know, let's
looking.
just leave it to the autopilot. I mean, come on.
Yeah. I'm not sure. But anyway, he has to put it out, and he puts it out right on his hand, which is another thing that comes back later in terms of his pain tolerance. He's got a high pain tolerance where he can be stoic, and he actually is kind of a masochist, maybe. But we don't
I
know
think he's
for
just
sure.
flexing how badass he is. I think that was the whole point of that.
Possibly. He puts the cigar in somebody else's pocket, and he just takes it out.
Mm-hmm.
And so Lydia is drawn to the attention of Jack in Tuck's car, and she's upset that he's in Tuck's car and wearing his jacket. And so Jack
She's like,
has to
"How
explain.
dare
Yeah. How dare you? So Jack tells her we need the microchip to get Tuck. The way he explains it is that he's being held ransom. And Lydia wants to hear all about it. But all Jack says is that we have until 9 a.m. to get those microchips. And that's all he really tells her. And he says that he is close, that Tuck is close by, which is true. He doesn't decide to tell her the truth just yet. Then we get Jack in the bathroom talking to Tuck. And this guy right here hears it. He hears this conversation that he's having. And no, besides, it's humiliating being this small, he's saying. And the other guy says, play with it, pal, but don't talk to it.
Right.
Which is great. Then we have, I want to say Meg Ryan, Lydia holding up a man who is kidnapping Jack with a taser weapon that can shoot 20,000 volts and immobilize you. But instead, she ends up hitting Jack, and that kind of helps the bad guy. Actually, that helps Ego lift Jack up.
Her aim wasn't too ideal here. She's like, "Oops, bad."
Yeah. But fortunately, she is a good reporter, so she's able to track where Ego heads with the truck. Mm-hmm. Jack gets kidnapped and thrown into a meat locker truck. And of course, meanwhile, Tuck inside a submarine, there's like a power surge or something, and he's wondering what is going on because Jack's brain activity is slowing down and everything.
I'm surprised his submarine didn't get completely and utterly fried.
Yeah, I'm surprised too.
Because it definitely, it's equipment that was attached to the optic nerve and the eardrum should both be shot, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Oh, for the rest of the movie, now Tuck cannot hear. You could rotate it in Hilbert space. Oh yeah, we read that one. A young Robert Picardo, very, Very true. Very true. He looks great in this movie. I love his wigs in this movie. He gets 2 wigs.
Hmm.
Martin Short had a second movie in 1987 called Cross My Heart. I have not seen that. Thank you, Phantom. Mary Berry Hands. That's not C. Phantom Outsider says, actually, it was federally
Federal.
banned for flights less than 2 hours in 1988 and then expanded to domestic in less than 6 hours in February 1990. Oh, interesting. Thank you so much.
Smoking
I was
ban.
curious about that. I was curious
Phantom
about that.
Outsider.
Yes, thank you.
Our guide to the world of facts.
He is. He's absolutely fantastic today, isn't he? And we meet our next villain, the villain whom Ego works for. Finally, we meet him. We see him at the Golden Gate Bridge. His name is Mr. Scrimshaw, and I'm hoping to see him in just a second here. Because right now we're just seeing him. Oh, right. Serving the Bay Area since the quake. There was a real earthquake that this is referencing, I think. I forget exactly which one. And here we are at the Golden Gate Bridge. I knew it was coming up. And Dr. Kinker, this is where we meet Dr. Kinker again. We saw her at the beginning of the movie called Margaret. And she's a doctor who wants to help Jack. And by that, I mean, she was rubbing his leg, so I think that she really wanted Jack, but she's told to go to the other car, so we don't actually get that. And apparently, Fiona Lewis, who plays Dr. Kanker, quit acting after this to focus on writing, but she did some minor voice acting since then. And yes, Scrimshaw. Scrimshaw is his name, the main villain of the episode, and he is obsessed with miniaturization. He thinks miniaturization is the ticket in terms of, where science is going. He says nobody has the balls to use nuclear weapons, and spacefaring endeavors just are just a whole bunch of orbiting debris in that kind of, yeah, like if you go up there is a ton of space trash. That's not
Oh yeah,
false.
it's a nightmare for anybody that wants to visit us. Just crap that'd be bouncing off their ship would be ridiculous.
So he is more interested in miniaturization and which country will control it.
Can you imagine the practicality of having shrink technology? It's like, oh, everybody at Amazon is no longer needed to work those warehouses and move heavy crap. They're loaded into something that you could put into a shoebox, and you could just ship a shoebox with everybody's deliveries instead of using big trucks. And then obviously they'll have a panel or pad or something where they could restore the sizes of the packages like it was nothing. Like, especially if you could, reduce the weight of it, like with the pod here. Like, it would streamline delivery costs. It would be insane.
It would be insane. And if you have shrinking technology, you would have enlargement technology too. So hunger will no longer be a thing either.
There's a lot of ways you can handle it,
But anyway, Scrimshaw starts randomly talking to him about being young and hunting mooses in Alaska. And apparently this whole weird speech was made up on the fly because the script didn't have anything for him to say. So they wrote something for him really quickly. But the entire monologue was lost forever because, of course, in the movie, it gets drowned out by Tuck's speech to encourage Jack to leave the truck, to escape the truck. And so the whole monologue is kind of destroyed by that. And we'll never know exactly what he was saying, except for what we can hear here. but I need to step away for just a minute. Just 20 seconds.
I will catch up with the chat in the meantime. Let's see. Phantom Outsider says, well, if you had a space shuttle, you could miniaturize it, and its payload could fit in hundreds of fuel cells and years of food. Absolutely. Housing issues and food issues, says John Hancock. Also very true. Downsizing was a good movie in scientific premise. Not so much as far as like execution of the plot. It was an interesting Matt Damon movie. That's a movie that you and I could probably talk about, Jill, if you want to keep this.
No, I don't.
that
I
Trump
saw that
theme.
movie. I saw that
It was-
movie,
it
and
was-
I love the miniaturization, but like
Mhm.
exactly as you said, I wasn't really that thrilled with the story.
Yeah, I've seen, for economic means aside, it would be absolutely ridiculous, especially since the technology also kept you from restoring yourself in case something would be needed of your attention back in the world of normal size. It's a one-way ticket. And then the posturing of let's just say political opinions that were made by it, including but not exclusive to reducing your overall net worth by expanding it through that's not how that works. But the science was cool. The set design was cool. I like the little Lego cars and stuff and whatnot. It was cute when it came to like the special effects and when the size
Yeah.
play came in.
But
everything else
it was too serious for its own
Yeah,
good. It needed to be
yeah.
a little goofier. A movie like that should have
Agreed.
played with it.
One
a
of
little
those
more.
birds should have got in through the fence, and they should have all had fought it off with toothpicks or something. That would have been awesome.
Yeah.
That would have been rad. That'd be like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, but for adults. Because that bird obviously would get 2 or 3 people.
Yes. So meanwhile, while Mr. Scrimshaw is talking about hunting in the cold, Jack is getting pumped up by Tuck to escape, and he says, "Namyo Renge Kyo."
Nam-myoho
And
Renge Kyo. That is a Daishonin Buddhism chant.
Yes. True story. And it works.
I experimented with that a little, in my younger years.
Oh, you did.
Yeah.
How did that work out?
Good philosophy, but the people that you met were strange.
So Lydia's got to save Jack, and so she's driving up faster. This is our second car chase, where we're chasing the truck to capture Jack. And it's fun. Ego is not able to see what's going on or he's not able to hear because he's got loud music, but he should be able to see through his rear view mirror what's happening. He can't for some reason. And
good to see you, Eugene Bird.
Hello, old man Bird. Great to see you. Yes. What keeps pausing? Thrawn Kill. Hello. How would you deal with entropy, though? Kind of violates a few basic laws.
Agreed.
Yes, that's why it's not a thing. But it's a fun to dream about. And that's why we have sci-fi movies, sci-fi fantasy movies. His wife bailing last minute was harsh. Or boiling? What? Bailing?
So Matt Damon's wife in Downsizing when she bailed on
Yeah, it was just kind of depressing.
It was a very depressing movie because then they ultimately, the sad part of that whole film was ultimately our efforts were futile, and the world was doomed to die anyway from a massive sulfur pocket or whatever, methane pocket from Antarctica that was released or whatever. I'm just thinking to myself, so what was the whole point of this film again? You guys are gonna live underground? What happens whenever what happens whenever an earthworm gets into your terrarium? What then?
Yeah. True story. Well, your worm food.
Pretty much.
Was that Strike of Iron? Did you achieve?
Moksha. No, I was just explaining how I used to dabble in some Eastern philosophies during my younger years.
Oops! Oh my gosh!
Oh,
I made
oh,
made a mistake.
darn! Oh, darn!
We got to start the movie over again.
Oh,
Okay.
darn! Oh, darn! Do it. Yeah, let's go with this one again.
Now that sound effect is more appropriate. So
Yeah, comedy
we're
would have been
almost
better, or an action. Like, imagine all of the issues. Like, this company was so confident, right, in building these small communities. But it would have been a better action movie if you had to deal with things that we would otherwise consider a common nuisance from daily life. What if a wolf spider broke into the community, right? Can you imagine a wolf spider just crawling around the neighborhood,
Oh my
scooping
god!
people up, or army ants.
Hmm.
Imagine if there was a pack of army ants that somehow was getting into there. You'd have all these miniature tanks and stuff. Just it would be like them, but modern. It would have been awesome. It would have been really cool. All
That
these
would have been more
concepts.
fun.
Yeah, it would have been awesome.
Like this movie knows how to have fun with the action scenes.
Mm-hmm.
And this is one of them where eventually Jack does make it into the Mustang. Oh, there it is. The freezer saying serving the Bay Area since the earthquake is a reference to a 1906 earthquake.
That swallowed up a good chunk of Frisco.
So I guess this scene does go on a little long, but it's fun. Because he's not graceful about it, but he makes it.
Mm-hmm.
Way to go, Jack. And then we head to the hotel. Lydia is tracking the cowboy because she thinks that will lead them to the chip because he deals in stolen technology and sells them overseas. So she's put the pieces together here.
He's the dirty dealer.
And Tuck always keeps a suitcase of clothes so so Jack can use his clothes that will not fit him very well. So this is the weird scene where the bad guy.
Dog. It's all pink.
It's all pink. Like Scrimshaw is, for some reason, tucked into this corner of this warehouse-looking place.
I have not
And
seen that much pink since the last Southern wedding I attended. Like, my God, man.
yeah. Oh, who picks pink for their wedding? I guess some people do.
The South, trust me. White and pink.
Wow. Well,
Yep.
and Margaret is having a little fun of her own. She likes Ego. She's
Mhm.
hanging out with him. But yeah, it's even funnier when they pull back on it. What is this? What's going on? I guess just to highlight how insane he is. I don't know what else
He's got to have his
for.
Bond villain area, despite the fact that the rest of the lot is just a vacant warehouse.
It's funny, yes. Well, and so the cowboy has lots of boots with him, and he's singing, and he has a fro, the wig. I love this wig. Right. He's singing his cowboy song. And I guess we have to, yeah, I just got extra shots of this because I like the way he presents himself.
Oh, yes. This town ain't big enough for the two of us, Pilgrim.
Yeah, essentially. And apparently, Jack is looking a little too much at Lydia for
Right.
Tusk's. For Tusk, like he didn't like it. Tusk doesn't like that. So anyway, we see Dwayne's rap sheet here and his activities. He's a banker, lawyer, business executive, who went to Yale University.
He's a banker.
Wow.
Nothing
Yeah,
but
no, I
trouble
didn't know.
reference. Nothing but trouble reference. He's a banker. He's a damn dirty banker.
Legal counsel to reputed organized crime figures. And so this is doing some research. So
Right.
he's been an administrator to 4 Teamster pension funds and suspected of black market arms dealing, yet manages to stay clean. So he actually hasn't been charged for any crimes at this point.
Squeaky clean.
And he's also rumored to have Jimmy Hoffa's wristwatch in a desk drawer as a souvenir. So that's his work. Good work. Good work, Dwayne.
Mm-hmm.
Get back into Tuck. Ooh, oxygen reserves are at 60%. There's our
There it
ticking
is.
clock.
There's our ticking clock.
It's working. And Jack is in Tuck's clothes, and that reminds Lydia of the time that he was last in those clothes, or first in those clothes, and during that date, Tuck fell down a manhole while walking Lydia home. Oh, they should never leave those open.
That's another reference to Looney Tunes too, because a lot of gags involve, walking into open manholes.
Oh, good point. Good point. I like that. And Jack says that he's really close to Tuck, so he's trying to. He's obviously very attracted to Lydia. Also, there's the triangle there, a bit of a love triangle with some of the dialogue there.
Yep.
And Lydia is after the cowboy. She's not too distracted. She's still on the case. They head to the Inferno Club here, this nightclub. What is the deal with the glasses and the cigarette? Like, this is just weird, and it's never really comes up again.
Might be a Cousin It reference. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
Well, I know that there's some people that have, that rare condition where hair grows all over their face, regardless. It's werewolf's disease. I can't remember the name of the medical condition, but it's
Oh, I didn't consider
covers
that.
your face and fur.
Yikes. Okay, so Wendy is here unexpectedly and recognizes Jack, and she's surprised to see him. How long have you been living this double life? And he tries to play it off. Oh yeah, it's been a while. And so we've got a lot of dancing, a lot of music, a lot of pop culture music. Obviously,
Lots of lasers.
Lasers and the cowboys dancing, and so of course Lydia takes advantage of this and dances with him. And he does this move where he's acting like he's got a lasso and he's pulling her in, and she plays along. And so he talks about what he does in bed. He wears his boots in bed.
Of course he does.
To explain the rest of it, though, however, he has to whisper it in her ear because this movie is not rated R. And Wendy knows he's been mean to Jack. She's been mean to Jack, and she admits it. And she also admits that he's the only one in the supermarket that she has not had sex with.
Ooh.
Well, he gets around. And the only one, but apparently Jack is the only one she's actually partially attracted to. She doesn't respect him really anyway. Anyway, let's move on. Then Lydia calls over to Jack, and so apparently the cowboy is going to be meeting with Scrimshaw in the morning and going to give him the microchip. So this is how they're going to get the microchip. Going to have this meeting coming up pretty soon. Let's oh I kind of like this kind of weird line. Let's split this. No right scene. Interesting. Let's go, Buffalo Gal. And Wendy wants Jack to call her. And then we move on, where Tuck admits that he's been stimulating Jack's adrenal gland. And it's been working because Jack thinks that Lydia deserves better than Tuck. So that's the whole drama there.
Uh-oh.
This
Scene.
is funny.
This scene right here, man. Oh no.
Yeah,
We find
so
out
Jack,
something else about the cowboy.
well, the cowboy, he might be interested in spending the night with Jack just as much as he would with Lydia.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we find out here because he says, "Joe, just come on in." Like he's actually happy to see Jack.
I'm bringing that flat little butt over here, Pilgrim. Ah.
Don't knock, just come. But then Jack immediately knocks him out and ties him up. Jack is really finding his ability to be physically assertive in this movie. And emulation systems are activated. So this is where the goofy science gets even goofier because we've got a facial recognition machine
Yes,
that's able to
right. Change his face. Yes. The ability to just sculpt a person's head.
Why not? Contour analysis, grid mapping, ecto contours. I feel like my ability to believe in this movie goes down and down, and so I have to lower my standards at this point even more.
Van Outsiders says, so is he going to make the bunny look human? Yes. Yes. Shape the skull into a man's skull.
That's terrifying, Fanty. Oh my god. I don't want to think about that.
Yes.
I've heard of Running of the Bulls, but why are you mentioning it, Kimberly? I don't understand.
It's futuristic stuff now, John. Yeah. Yeah.
Way to go, Big Jack. Oh, that's too soon. Yeah. Yeah, that is too soon. So, is that the same earthquake referenced in The Lost Boys? Asked
Yes.
Jonathan Hannock.
Yes, 1906 earthquake that swallowed up.
Old Man Bird is happy to see Meg Ryan. Oh, you changed your name.
Who isn't? I call him Eugene. I'll always call him Eugene. That's how I met him.
Yeah, Eugene Bird. As long as I can. I always wonder, did he change his name because he doesn't want people to call him Eugene? Is it Eugene okay? Because I like his name too. I'm always leery about that.
Day.
True.
Up to him.
But Jill, okay, so you wonder why they had no action figure line for this movie. True, they should have.
Well, the movie just didn't gross a budget that went over the black. That's why.
Yeah, that's why. That's true. That's the answer. Thank you. Wendy is the supermarket bicycle. Yes. This was futuristic stuff in the 80s. You know what? I have to remember that. I have to remember this is 87, so maybe it is more science fiction-y, even though it feels like
computers were and especially hackers, like, oh, I can just hack a person's face. It's literally what this is.
Yeah.
Hack a person's face.
I don't understand.
Hacker Man is the most powerful hacker of all time.
I think I believe Face Off a little more.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they were gonna make Bugs look like Bugs Bunny. Oh no!
Watch it, yeah. Can you imagine the rabbit just like switching his head, and going, "Watch it, Dick. Watch cookie. Watch it, Dick."
Oh god.
Oh no! Nightmare fuel.
Okay, so Grid mapping ectodermal contours. I do love the fun technobabble. It's fun.
Mm-hmm.
Why not? Why not? You know what the face looks like, so you can have that face, says this movie.
Apparently, as long as you have the submarine inside you, obviously don't be caught keeping that face because
I think that the oh yeah, don't be caught keeping that face.
yeah. Oops, I farted out the sub. Now I'm gonna be looking like somebody else forever.
Oh no, yeah, that would not be good. So apparently the whatever special effects were used here are used later in Total Recall, where it's much more believable because it's a man inside of a fat lady. So I don't know, a robot of a fat lady. And definitely would win Wendy, says Thron Kill. Yeah. And he does, but he's like, nah.
Jonathan, I only got one thing to say to you, John Hancock. There is a Skeletor short talking about how a pregnant woman in a swimming pool is technically a human submarine. Yes.
Interesting. Well, I've been a submarine in the past, but I will never become one in the future. If she would hang out with Martin Short and Bill Crystal, surely she'd go out with one of us, says Old Man Bird. Oh, wow. So there's a chance, you're saying.
Ever
this
the
is goofy.
optimist.
This is so goofy. But the cowboy wakes up for a minute and passes back out when he sees Jack with his face. And apparently the transformations were achieved with animatronics provided by Rob Botton. Sounds fun. And of course, we get Robert Ricardo with a Martin Short wig. It's fun. So instead of there he is at the fro. And here he is.
I tell you, that technology is just too damn good. It matches the skin tone and everything. How about that?
Yeah, I love how Lydia just manhandles his face.
She's just like, what? This is where all our tax dollars are going? I don't know if I want to do this anymore.
Yeah, but for some reason she's got a fake gold tooth lying around. Why? I don't know.
Because plot convenience. That's why.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, that's Picardo, Robert Picardo, true story.
Robert the Picardo dog is no longer pink.
I know. Never beg doggy. I want one like that. He's so cute.
That is a pretty fluffy pupper. I would hug it.
Me too. They didn't even. Was that tooth disgusting? Yeah, right? I don't know.
You don't know where that's been. Besides somebody else's mouth.
Yep.
I digress. Carry on.
Oh, sorry. Just a moment.
This moment of silence is brought to you by the fine folks here at the Stark of Iron YouTube channel. That's right. We are now going to use copyright-free elevator music. If you like the cool taste of a good smoke, please consider getting yourself some Camel cigarettes. Nothing is sweeter, burns longer, and keeps you cool than good old Camel cigarettes. Buy yourself a pack today, now with a flip-top box.
Lovely. Thank you for that commercial break.
Carry on.
Goodness. I will. All right. So where are we? Mr. Scrimshaw is waiting, so we're going to have a meeting with Mr. Scrimshaw. And it's Robert Picardo pretending to be Martin Short, and I think he does a good job. Very, very great. And yeah, he definitely captures the awkwardness of Jack, if anything. It's been 6 years since Scrimshaw has seen the doctor, and so he says, "Wow, you're different." And so the cowboy says, as Jack, that I've been sick. He's been sick. So that's an answer.
But I got
Good answer.
better. It turned me into a newt, but I got better.
At least he's smart enough to not try and smoke a cigar when he knows he doesn't smoke.
Mm-hmm.
That would have looked bad.
El terrible.
And he almost gets the microchip too, but then his tooth messes up. And now Scrimshaw is not sure that this is really the cowboy. He's questioning things and does not give him the microchip.
No
And he
technology for you.
he talks about the cowboy's pain tolerance. So they're about to harm him to prove that he isn't the cowboy, because the cowboy would be able to handle lots of pain. I don't really know how much pain, but there's a blowtorch or a tortilla chip.
Inside the robot arm, yes.
Oh my god, yeah. And so that messes up the face change, I guess,
Yeah.
for some reason.
Go, gadget blowtorch!
So, during the scene, apparently Robert Picardo had to do quite a bit of work. So the first time Robert Picardo goes off screen, he's actually rushing behind camera, tearing off his breakaway clothes, and then getting into the bathtub. Oh, this was the scene before. And meanwhile, a stand-in moves into frame from the left, which is seen from the back, and a makeup artist is behind a fake wall at the head of the bath, having just changed the putter wig to the cowboy wig. And before the Scrimshaw meeting, Picardo's voice was overdubbed with Martin Short's. During the meeting, Picardo uses his own voice with a Short-esque lilt, and because the filmmakers didn't think that Short trying the cowboy's voice would be convincing. So here we are. And so he freaks out, and his face is going, Jack's face is going crazy, and he becomes Jack again. He looks like Jack again.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone, something about Satan. What does he say? Deliver us from Satan.
That's right. The demonic references is absolutely hilarious.
Yes.
Everybody's immediate response is, "Oh my gosh, it's the work of the devil."
It's not a bad reaction to this, because this is rather insane. And now they recognize him, and Jack grabs the microchip, throws it to Lydia. Lydia fails to catch it, and it ends up in the dog food where the bad guys get the chip.
Lydia does not have good hand-eye coordination. This is
Apparently.
confirmed. She is,
yeah, right.
Can't fire a taser, can't catch an object.
Things are adding up.
Depth perception. It might be, she might have a lazy eye. Who knows?
And they're locked up in this weird wooden prison where Lydia wants to know the truth now. Now things are worse than ever. But she doesn't believe it, obviously. So Tuck has to prove it by talking about the last night that she walked out on him.
Mm-hmm.
And that he says, it was my heart that was broken and not my toe. And at the beginning of the movie, he was saying, oh, I think my toe's broken. And she drives off. So now Lydia does believe it. And Jack says, hey, they're about to kiss, but Jack says, turn off your sensors. I want some alone time here. And to my surprise, Tuck actually does it. And they kiss. And you see
the fluid transfer.
Yes, and that Tuck is part of that fluid transfer. Jonathan Hannock needs smoke after watching that scene. Yeah, it was a nice commercial break. I enjoyed it.
Hey, what can I say? If there's one thing that I'm always going to be good at is doing the variety thing.
Daniel Topic says, last night I was watching Star Trek 2009, Into Darkness and Beyond. And he says, Daniel says that it looks better on his big screen TV. And he doesn't like that Paramount and Skydance canceled Star Trek 4, whereas I am totally delighted that not only have they canceled the Kelvin verse, but it is looking like Kurtzman has less and less power every day and that they're moving in a direction away from him. And I am over the moon.
We are actually going to be covering that a little bit more in detail on our upcoming Starcast at 7 o'clock.
Very cool. That's awesome. And oh yeah, okay, so that's true. We don't have a lot of time. Let's get through this movie.
Mm-hmm.
So Jack and Lydia kiss. Jack comes in saying, "Oh, he doesn't know where he is." So for a little while, he's a bit disoriented. Grimshaw has Lydia and is put in Margaret Cranker's office, the doctor. And Jack is put on a gurney and strapped down. And they're going to miniaturize Ego in his own little pod to go in and get the chip from Tuck and then eliminate Tuck also. So they're going to kill him either way. And also since Lydia is trapped in a room with one of the henchmen, she's reaching for her purse and he says, well, I got to check it for nail files. And he ends up tasing himself, which is great. It's a great callback for her taser. And Ego gets into his pod. And the pod itself, it has these snappy robot hands to complement his own robot hands.
He'd collect the whole set.
And so we finally see that Tuck is no longer in Jack. Oh, let's see. The slides have to catch up. But this is some good stuff. I like the differences. This laboratory looks a lot more streamlined than the other one.
Despite, the comment that, their technology was primitive in comparison.
True. Interesting. And he finds out that he is inside Lydia and that Lydia is pregnant. And he is somehow in her uterus. Anyway.
Since 2001 A Space Odyssey, seeing freaky giant fetuses has always made me very, very uneasy. It is uncanny to me, and
Well, we all start off.
We all look like this, yes,
things.
but to see something that's supposed to be so small, that big, is what makes it unsettling to me.
Yeah, it is. It is wild how we are formed. And so Lydia, meanwhile, calls Dwayne to call the other laboratory, and she has Tuck, and that she's bringing him in. She knows that he's in her. So somehow,
I like how Tuck's sub is like an exosuit more than a sub. It's like an exosuit.
Yes, it is. You're right. Yeah, it's kind of cool. It's not really like a big submarine that you can pilot the way that Tuck is doing. Yes, I agree. I think it's kind of neat. And so we still care about that microchip. And Lydia escapes, and Margaret injects Ego into Jack. And Scrimshaw has a terrible idea of enlarging Mr. Ego while he's still inside Jack once Mr. Ego steals the microchip.
Be messy, but yeah.
Yeah, it would be messy. Fortunately, it never happens.
Thank God. That would have been. I've seen like in some recent episodes of I watched The Boys, and I got to see what it would be like for somebody who's really itty bitty to instantly enlarge in themselves while inserted in somebody. It's not pretty.
Well, I don't know if I'm gonna get around to watching The Boys, but if I do, I'll look out for that.
No, the gore would totally throw you off, Jill. You would not be able to sit through it.
What? I am fine. I bet I could. Now this sounds like a dare.
It is a dare, absolutely.
And so Jack demands. So Lydia saves Jack, and Jack demands that everybody goes into the miniaturizer. So both laboratories are bad at security.
Yes.
Which makes less sense for Scrimshaw to not have armed guards, but we'll forget about it. And everybody listens, and the cops are on their way. And Dr. Cranker says, "Don't worry, they won't know how to close it." And then they do. And they set the reduction ratio to 50%, so they all end up the size of babies.
Mm-hmm. These laboratories are basically designed by like Dexter from Dexter's Lab because the security is so piss poor that a clumsy blonde can infiltrate it.
What does this button do? And well, apparently that button closes the door and they are made small. And so some of these shots were filmed using forced perspective, so they really didn't have miniaturization in that. And then but they also used other methods too. Let's see. And they close their eyes. The chip is oh yeah, right, because the blinding light whenever the miniaturization happens.
It blinds you.
And so the robot gives them the microchip. They get the microchip from the villain's laboratory, and he goes to the middle ear because he's gonna play his girlfriend some music. That song from earlier we were talking about.
Yes.
And it's here again, and it plays. Oh, Cupid by the Spinners. Oh, the Spinners are the ones here. Okay, got you.
Detroit Spinners, yeah.
Only she can hear the music as they're escaping this particular laboratory. She can hear it, and then the cops arrive, and so the scientists tell them to press the green button.
You fool!
Yes. Well, and they say, well, he did graduate high school, so he should be able to figure out how to press the green button. And the sight of the smaller people, the smaller scientists, makes one of the cops faint. And Jack, thinking that he still has Tuck inside of him to make him stronger, starts punching out this guy and gets the keys. Then Lydia realizes Tuck is inside of her playing her song, and that's when Jack's bravado kind of falters a little bit. But
he's like, wait a minute, don't have Jiminy Cricket in my bloodstream. Oh, fuck this!
But he finds the power within himself to kick this guy down the stairs. So yeah, he did it by himself. And bad guys are now tiny. And
I will be right back, Joe.
Okay, take your time. So, and they're covering the they're trying to stop Jack from driving very well, covering his eyes and causing all sorts of mayhem while they're trying to drive. And the one interesting thing is that when these characters are smaller, their voices are in a higher pitch, but Tuck's voice is never in a higher pitch in the same way. But I'm glad they don't do it actually because that would be annoying. I like being able to hear Quaid's voice normally. I like his voice. And let's see. Oh, there's a note here from Bill George about shrinking the scientists down to child size. They say there's a great scene in which a limo combines forced perspective and puppetry, where McCarthy and his many henchmen grapple with Short and Meg Ryan as their car careens through San Francisco, which is particularly this scene right here. Bill George says those puppets were all built at ILM in our creature department. We built a double scale from front to back of the car. It was really elaborate, but a very fun sequence because even though it took a lot of setup, once we started shooting, it was all happening live right there in front of the camera. It wasn't shooting elements and then comping them together. And so yeah, it looks really good too. It's a lot of fun. And so they kiss again, so now Tuck is back inside of Jack. And Jack is like, "Oh, by the way, now that you're inside me again, there's a crazed maniac that's gonna try to kill you. So be on the lookout for that."
Have fun.
Yeah, have fun. Like he was safe inside Lydia. Why did he have to change? Anyway, I guess you just can't have a weird. Well, because they have to have the villain fight, and I guess that's fun.
And what better fight than in the pit of the gut?
Yeah. The oxygen is now at 20%, so we are making it to the end of the movie. That's how you know. Pressurization imbalance because of ego being in there. The oxygen is depleting. And meanwhile, the car almost runs into these double-decker buses. And of course, Victor's there to kill Jack and steal his microchip. And Tuck shoots ego away. Like he gets pressurization or some kind of pressure gun. He pushes him away. But his oxygen is now at 15%. And of course, ego is making all of this much worse. And Jack breaks and he lands on the beach. That's how this particular action scene ends.
And there,
It's so funny
there's
to me.
the infant-sized adults in the back seat just screaming in the back seat of the car.
It's funny, even in stills. So Pete finds Jack and Lydia. Oh, and there's a malfunctioning of Ego's little pod. And so he has to eject. And now he's just in a spacesuit, kind of with a rocket jet pack on it. It's lots of cool stuff in this movie. So Pete is driving Lydia and Jack. And oh, now inside that spacesuit, he's using his robot hand to drill into what is this? What is he drilling into? Something that's gonna life support system warning, and Ego's drilling into some systems that is making things much worse for Tuck. And we find out that Tuck is in the stomach with acid bubbling everywhere.
Man's
Meanwhile,
hungry.
yeah, I guess he is hungry. Well, he says he feels relaxed. And meanwhile, Jack is still being attacked by Mr. Scrimshaw. who is now the size of a baby. And Ego is up in the esophagus, and so Tuck needs the acid to build up, so he lies and says that he might have seen a tumor down here, Jack, to upset his stomach, and that incites an ulcer. And that ulcer helps Jack kill Ego. And there's that famous line we said already. You just digested the bad guy. And
This little skeleton in the in the green goo.
oh, yeah.
Oh Lord.
Well,
I would say that this is cannibalism, but is it really?
well, he didn't deliberately eat the bad
Right.
guy. So I
Right.
would not call it cannibalism because it wasn't his fault. Although it is cannibalism when, you know, Soylent Green is people. I mean, you're unintentional cannibalism. Unintentional cannibalism is what this is.
Yes, this is a Soylent Green moment, but the difference is you know, he died alive.
Yeah, my goodness.
That's
Yeah,
a way to go. That's like going to a
disintegrated.
chemical plant. That's like going to a chemical plant and falling in one of those big vats, you know?
Yes,
That's terrifying to think about.
it is. And earlier in the film, it's a bit of a callback because Tuck says, "You don't want, if you let me die in here, you're just going to have a tiny submarine with a little miniaturized skeleton at the helm." And so now he does have a tiny little skeleton in his body, which he will eventually fully digest and extract. It will be extracted eventually, naturally. And oh, okay. So so we got more from Bill George. The the question was to him. The highlight of the miniature work comes in the finale when the henchman Ego is shrunk down and injected into Martin Short's character, Jack, in order to take out Quaid's hero. What were some of the challenges in that sequence? And Bill says, we used a new system that had been developed called pin blocking. It was a way of moving a live action element and then moving the footage and tracking to that live action movement. We used it for the thrusters and also for putting the footage of Dennis Quaid inside a miniature pod. For that big end sequence, we kind of pulled out all the stops. There was a lot of miniature work, blue screen with rod puppets. Some of it was shot in the water tank and some of it was shot dry for wet. And then the backgrounds all had to be shot, but a lot of it was super, super low tech. Like we needed to move this giant esophagus. So we just got 3 stagehands and they grabbed a hold of it and said, okay, guys, move rhythmically. And that's neat.
To open it up, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, very, very cool effects. So I knew I wanted to
I
get a
like
little
the
bit of that.
practical effects in this film. I tell you, they were top notch.
Yes, there's the burp.
Yep.
And so
throw that in there. Jack's cannibalistic moment.
Yes. Yes. Well, and he couldn't help it. He had gas. So also, if Lydia heard the music, would the baby also heard it? Yes.
Yeah.
Also, if his oxygen was at 20%, it was also 100% 2 days ago. So the timeline seems off. If anybody wants to question the scientific accuracy of this movie, I will let them because they're probably right. Ego was drilling into the oxygen tanks. Thank you. So instead, well, yeah. And so it was saying life support is not doing so well. So that makes sense. So instead of a skeleton in a pod, he digested a human. Way to be a cannibal, Jack. Unintentional cannibalism, we figured out. Pins on the film sprockets? I would like to know too. I am not an expert in that stuff, but I love to learn about it. Well, if Jack is ever asked in Never Have I Ever Eaten Another Guy, he's got to take a drink. I'm sure no one will believe that explanation. Okay. So
So there's this epic battle between these two people that were the size of a micrometer ish, and one of them got knocked out of his protective suit. And here we
yeah.
are.
So here we are. Well, we're with the bad guys. They need to make a phone call, but of course they're tiny now.
Right.
And he says all his pocket change is shrunk, so they need to use his credit card. And this looks amazing.
So funny. The
I
oversized
love,
phone.
yeah, the oversized phone. They're standing on top of each other. It's fantastic fun.
You would think that he would have her on his shoulders. That poor girl.
Yeah, and they call for the cowboy to help them. Yes. And so now the oxygen level is critical. It doesn't even tell him what percentage it is. It's just he's about to die now.
It's
It's
all over now. Yeah.
it's all over. And so he puts on an oxygen mask. So maybe he has a little bit, but he's telling Jack he's what's going on and that he's heading to the mouth. And of course, even if he could leave the mouth, he could never breathe our air particles. So he's got to be sneezed out apparently at over 100 miles an hour. He says, "Right now, I'm inside your lung, and my only chance is for you to sneeze." And and we know from the beginning of the movie that Jack is allergic to hairspray, and he gets somebody to give him some hairspray to do this. And he sneezes on this guy's glasses. And they have to stop him from wiping his glasses because that's your instinct. You want to just clean yourself, which would not be good in this case. One more thing from Bill George in talking about a few things. Did you look at movies like Fantastic Voyage or Incredible Shrinking Man for reference? And he says, not really. We didn't want to make it look like Fantastic Voyage. They made their cell walls stained, and we didn't want that. We wanted it to look a lot more pleasant. One of our tricks was to use organic material, like the villi inside the lungs were made from green onions. We went and bought tons of them and stuck them in clay and made a mold and cast it in latex rubber. Then we shot them underwater so everything was moving together in waves. We used gourds, cucumbers, just about anything from the grocery store we could, because they had an organic, alive feeling. Up until that point, most everything I'd built was hard surface spaceships, landscape miniatures, and that kind of stuff. Then all of a sudden, we're making fat cells, arteries, and a heart. Everything was new and different. So the scientist stops the other scientist from wiping his glasses and gets a pair of tweezers to safely put Tuck on a plate so they can start the re-enlargement process. And Jack gives them the chip. And so they're waiting around for this robot arm to put the chip in, and the scientist gets really impatient and just does it himself. And he gets a little electrical shock for his impatience. We have to wait. And see. So this is that final scene of whether or not we're going to be able to save Tuck. Yeah, he's got other stuff in his pocket, but they find the chip, get it there. Puma 200. Eat me, drink me. And so that is a reference
Alice
to
Wonderland.
Alice in Wonderland.
One makes you small. Yep.
Well, and there's a joke where he says The Exorcist at first because in The Exorcist there's a part where Reagan says a whole bunch of sexually explicit profanity. And so I guess that's a reference to that. Now, I was wondering about that joke, so I figured that out. Apparently, a decade later, Martin Short would become the Mad Hatter in the television adaptation of the Alice in Wonderland books. And so they activate the centrifuge with those with that UI, and it activates laser pre-light, and it's but there's a bit of a delay before it actually works. Nothing happens at first, and so the lab assistant says, was it drink me? Because the answer they chose, eat me, because that would be the way the Alice would be enlarged. And it did work. So everybody rejoices. Everybody's happy. Everybody cheers. Yay, hooray. And I just love this part where we see Ego's arm, and that is all that's left of him that is attached to the submarine.
I was trying to drill in, yeah.
And so now that they're both the same size, Tuck hugs Jack, and Jack gives him a Cuban cigar. And everybody's also kissing Jack and everything. And of course, oh wait, that's later. That's later at the wedding.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, Tuck marries Lydia. And the fun part of this is that Dennis Quaid and Meg Ryan met on the set of this movie, and they dated and became married in February 14th, 1991, and divorced in 2001. And so, Tuck also wonders why she didn't tell him she was pregnant. And so they get married, and they're so cute, and everybody's happy. And Jack even gives them his cruise tickets that he spent 2 years saving for. And Tuck's like, thanks. And everybody kisses. This is where everybody kisses Jack. Lydia kisses him on the mouth, and Tuck kisses Jack on the cheek. And on Tuck's cufflinks are the microchips. He's got the microchips on him. What an idiot. Well, anyway, the little bad guys are in a suitcase. And the driver of their wedding car is the cowboy. Yes. So here's some sequel bait for a sequel that never happened. And Jack sees that this is the cowboy. He realizes that it's him. And they're in that suitcase. I wouldn't have. I'm sure the sequel would have been terrible, so I'm glad they didn't make it. But I like thinking about it.
The movie wasn't received well enough. So if they did somehow fund the sequel, it probably would have been received worse. Been a detriment to people's careers. So
yeah, that makes sense. And Wendy decides she wants to date Jack, but Jack now has too much self-respect to be with Wendy, so he rejects her. Thankfully.
I kissed Dennis Quaid. I got bigger fish to chase. Yuck.
Yes, that's why. And so he realizes that it's the cowboy, and he is so excited to be on another adventure. And so where he's grown up. He's the one who grows the most in this movie.
It really was centered around, the guy that was pretty much centered, literally, the guy that Dennis Quaid was swimming around in.
Yes. The old robotic vision system, the Puma. Yeah, not Z3PO. Thanks for pointing that out. I was wondering what that was. Fantastic. What are you reading from, Jill? I was reading from a interview with Bill George that I found on the internet, which I thought was fascinating. And I'm glad I was able to fit that in before Tony has to leave soon. And we were able to get through the whole movie. I'm so excited. Why wouldn't Jack put his hands in front of his face, ensuring they could find the pod? Hmm. Old robotic vision system and okay, where yeah.
Definitely.
And
It would have probably ate careers. It would have tanked careers, man.
yeah, probably a good thing the sequel wasn't made. Yes, I think so too. Jack's newfound confidence. Yes, he'll find a lady who actually appreciates him. Phantom Outsider, also no defects yet. Let me use the microchips as cufflinks.
Tell you, I honestly think Dexter from Dexter's Lab was the one behind the security here.
Yeah.
But they would never find it out.
Yeah, a bit of arrogance on part of some scientists, so maybe
Mm.
not too unrealistic. But I had a lot of fun watching this movie. I hope you did too.
It was a fun film. It's always a film that I like to revisit like once or twice a year. It's good. It's cute. It's wacky. It's cartoonish. And it's a good analogy on the strength you could find within, even whenever your Jiminy Cricket is literally a guy inside you. So yeah, all in all, the movie did suffer a lot from it flopping out, but as we come to watch some of these older films, we find a newfound appreciation to the storytelling within. And that's why we have cult classics in the first place. And this is one of many in that number. It's definitely a strong contender in what it means to be a cult classic. So if we were to do a rating system, from a professional standpoint, it's like a 6 out of 10. But for personal enjoyment, it's an 8 out of 10 for me. So
I found myself right in the middle of that. I feel like this is a 7 for me. I very much love it, and I would like to watch it again, but I know that there are lots of issues in terms of the verisimilitude of some bits. But at the same time, it's written so entertainingly that those kind of things are forgiven because you're having fun. So if you're gonna be goofy, actually be funny like this movie is. Vernon Wells will always be known for his role in Mad Max 2. Well, now
Oh
I'm
yeah.
always going to know him for being the ego. A scientist, arrogant nonsense. Oh, you're a scientist, not Z3PO. Oh, that's fascinating. Well, I didn't mean all scientists. I think I did qualify some. There have to be some. And we had some good music in this movie too. We had Twisting the Night Away by Sam Cooke and performed in this movie by Rod Stewart. Is It Love written and performed by Narada Michael Walden. Hypnotize Me written and performed by Wang Chung. Will I Ever Understand You performed by Berlin, written by John Crawford. But also we have another rendition of Twisting the Night Away, Cupid, written and performed by Sam Cooke. So we had both versions of that, which is great. I'm an Old Cowhand from the Rio Grande. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Johnny
written
Mercer.
Yeah, that's the song that Picardo sings, which is cute. I like that scene. There you go. That's our slideshow. And that's our show for today. Perfectly timed.
Bun in the bun, ladies and gentlemen. That's how we do it.
We did it. We did it together. Is there okay, so you already gave your closing words for the movie. So could you also tell us anything that's coming up for you? Anything fun going on today? Where are we going to find you this weekend?
I am going to be doing a few things. Yes, as if for those of you who have seen the new shorts uploads, we are riding the Has Been Hotel wave a little bit. So expect some dad jokes from the Radio Demon as well as some skits with Vox. And then I'm going to be producing a show for Scooby Pup that'll be happening in approximately 1/2 of an hour. And then I will be doing my show, Starcast Mark 20, alongside Dignified Cartoon Gentleman, Scooby Pup 01, the son of Mars, and our special guest is going to be the esteemed and eccentric mad scientist or angry scientist, director, architer of Architer Labs. We will also be having hopefully number one Theta of the Grid on that panel as well. Sunday, I don't know if I'm doing anything in particular Sunday besides maybe hanging out with Sammy Threepeat in other news. And then if I'm caught up with my production queue for my current upload content needs, hanging out with Stu Penzo for Tales from the Dark Side. So yeah, you'll see me out and about. And hopefully you guys tune in for the Thursday matinee, the variety show before the variety show, as we'll probably have more skits and parodies prepared for you to start your weekend early Thursday evening. And that's my daily on the 8s. What are you going to be doing, Jill?
Yahoo! That's wonderful. Oh, Stupenzo, I could always show up for that one. If I decide I
Mhm.
don't want to sleep that night, I will hang out with him. So I don't always show up there, but I could randomly show up there at any time. It could be tomorrow if I feel rambunctious at 2 a.m. in the morning. But as far as the rest of this weekend, I think it's possible I might show up on the Wayfarer Projects channel tomorrow because they are covering another UFO episode. And you know how I love UFO. And so I'd like to help them out with that one. And the Comic Relief Crusader says, "Damn, I'm late." That's true. And then in the upcoming week, every Tuesday, I continue to do my Twilight Zone. Even though it's Thanksgiving week, I will have the Twilight Zone, but I won't be streaming on Friday because it's family time. Got double booked. I'm double booked for Thanksgiving Thursday and Friday, so there's no way I'm doing the show. And if I do anything Saturday night, it'll be probably a gaming stream or a shore leave. If even that. It's possible I don't do anything at all because you know, family, 3D people are very important. And so that's what I have coming up. And we also had Wes Cagle here today. He's been lurking this whole time. Ooh.
Good to
And
see you, Wes Cagle.
Yeah, he said, "Thanks for the review. I enjoyed listening while I was lurking."
Excellent. We got
I
Price
always
of
love
Reason here as well.
I always love to hear when people are lurking. Price of Reason says, "Hey, just saw this stream now. We'll have to check out the replay. It is very good, I think. What do you think?"
It was a tightly ran ship. Well
It was a lot of
executed.
fun. Thank you. And I enjoyed your interjections very much.
My interjections were few and far between, but they were always relevant.
There were always gold when you shared. Yes. And so we had Nazi3PO saying, "Happy Turkey Day, America." Yeah, we do know that some of you guys in Canada have already, I don't know if you are, but in Canada, they already had Thanksgiving, but it's our turn now to eat the bird. And then that means the official start of Christmas season. Although many
Speaking
people,
of which, is Brogu still in the chat?
I don't know, Broku, are you still there?
Because I have a Star Trek Christmas song for you. I might share it this Thursday.
DJ Ronnie G says you're looking handsome today, Tony.
Thank you. You know, in my new office, you know, recently renovated since Vox, the media overlord, has been dethroned. It's a nice, swanky little place down here in the Plane of Perdition. You should come check it out sometime.
Yes, but in the interest of keeping Tony within line with everything that he's got going on today, we're going to wrap up the show now. And yeah, we had a lot of fun today talking about a very small man inside a very strange man.
Strange man indeed.
And so thanks for hanging out with me. Thank you to everybody who's here in the chat. We had some great people here today. We had, let's see, whoa, there are always more people here than I realized.
Oh, we had a good
Linux?
turnout. We had a great turnout. Yeah.
We had Gorilla's Random Thoughts, Gavin Blackburn, Pop Culture Minefield, Gary, Mike Linux, Price of Reason, Canadian Spider-Man, College Slammer, Lemon Pie, Lombardi, Orphan Zane, Wes Cagle, Jacob Ironside, The Comic Relief Crusader, Greek Letters Larson, not Brian, amazing, DJ Ronnie G, Jonathan Hancock, Don Ranger Power, Brogu, Old Man Bird, and of course Tony Starkmeyer. Thank you for being here. Ron Kill, Daniel's Hot Topics, and then we get our top 5. One of them is my bot, so that doesn't count. Number
the
4,
robots.
the robot, yeah. Not Z3PO is number 4. Pop Culture Republic at number 3. Phantom Outsider at number 2. And Kimberly Ann Hart at number 1. Woo! Amazing. Yeah, that makes sense, actually.
Yes,
And thanks
I
again.
believe Kimberly was here first. Give her a round of applause. Fantastic.
We'll find those closing videos. And I had a lot of fun today, so I hope I get to have fun with you guys soon around the internet, here and other places, over in Tony's channel and over everywhere. And until I see you again, have a wonderful rest of your weekend. Hopefully this is a good start to your weekend, and I will see you all next time.
Bye. Have a wonderful time.
Learn all that is learnable.
And the ways our differences combine to create meaning and beauty.
It has always been easier to destroy than to create.
May we together become greater than the sum of both of us.
Well, now you have something new to think about. Carry on.
I'll get you next time, Gadget. Next time.
See you around the galaxy.